Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning Science Q&A. Today we are starting a new series with some of the most important questions that can be asked in our 10th board examination. As we all are aware that we are approaching to the 2025 board examination. So let's see some of the questions from pre-board examination that have already been asked in certain schools examination. So let's get started. Now, the first kind of question that can be asked during a reaction is the balancing a chemical reaction. Let's see the question. Identify P, Q, and R in the following balanced reaction. For these kind of questions, student, we need to see what number we can put here so that the equation become balanced in both side, at the reactant as well as at product side. We will start with the simplest number. We have PbNO3 whole twice, which is when heated, it gives lead oxide, which is PbO, NO2 and O2. We can start with putting 2. If we put 2 here, first of all, we have 2 Pb or lead at the reactant side, whereas at the product side, the number is 1 Pb only. So we can put 2 here itself. Again, in this way, lead will be balanced. Always remember, in a chemical reaction, whenever you are starting with balancing it, always start with the element except for the oxygen and hydrogen. That means oxygen and hydrogen are balanced at the end reaction. They are so. In this way, we can see that lead has been balanced at both the sides. Coming to N, nitrogen is already present in 2 number here. That means before balancing, we were having 2 nitrogen here. After balancing, we are having a total of 4 nitrogen, which is at the product side, we have only 1 right now. So when we put 4 here, we would have 4 Na2 at the product side as well as 4 nitrogen at the reactant side. Now at the end we have oxygen remaining. Let's see if it is balanced already or not. We have around 12 oxygen at the reactant side. How? We have 3 multiplied by 2, 6 multiplied by 2. That means 12 oxygen atom at the reactant side, whereas at the product side we have 2, 8, 2. That means 12 oxygen are there at the product side also, right? So in this way we can say that this equation is being balanced and this is our correct answer. Coming to next kind of question that can be asked is match the following. Here we have match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option using the given codes. We have a metal that forms amphoteric oxide. We have many metals like copper, lead, tin, zinc. That means we have a long list of metal that can form amphoteric oxide. Amphoteric means they can react with both acid and base. But by the information that is provided to us, we have gallium, aurum, that means gold, aluminium, and manganese in the option. So, out of the given option, we have aluminium that can form amphoteric oxide. By looking at only one option here, A matches with 3, we can say either from B or D could be our right answer. Let's proceed to other statement too. A metal which melts when it is kept on our palm. We have gallium, gold, and manganese available. Out of these two, gallium is the right answer. It has very low melting point just above the room temperature. Room temperature is around 27, 28. So in centigrade scale, we have its melting point around 29.7. If we talk about the Kelvin scale, it is around 302.9 Kelvin, and at Fahrenheit scale, it is 85.5 Fahrenheit. What we need to remember, gallium has comparatively or relatively low melting point just above the room temperature. So it melts when it is kept on our palm. So the B matches with gallium, and with this only we have our right option. That means B is the right option, but still, for any examination, we must be confirmed about the rest of the statement also. Next is a metal that reacts with nitric acid out of gold and manganese. We all know gold being very inert, very low reactive. In fact, the lowest in the reactivity series would not be reacting with any of the acid under normal condition. So for this, we have our right answer as manganese, which forms compound MnNO3 whole twice with manganese. Lastly, we have a metal which cannot displace hydrogen from acid. Metal is displaced from their solution by a reaction named as displacement reaction. But as we discussed, gold already being very low in the reactivity series will not displace any of the metal from the acids. So D would be the answer. So with this, we have option B as our right answer. Coming to the next kind of question that can be asked, when 50 gram of lead powder, this is PB, is added to 300 ml of blue copper sulfate solution. After a few hours, the solution becomes colorless. This is an example of which of the following kind of reaction. Always remember, when these kind of questions are asked, the figures, the exact figure that have been provided to you are basically just to trick you. Because in this question, when they are not asking you to calculate any amount, these figures are just given to trick you. They are asking, when a lead powder is added with copper sulfate solution, the solution becomes colorless. Having a blue color is a property of copper sulfate solution which, when displaced by lead, forming PbSO4, which is lead sulfate, turns the solution colorless. Also, it displaces copper from its old acidic solution or salt solution. So we have PbSO4 produced with the help of displacement reaction. So the correct answer would be, this is an example of displacement reaction. Next, we are provided with electronic configuration of three element X, Y and Z, as X is 287, Y with 282, and Z with 2 and 8. By looking at this, you need to tell whether X, Y, Z are metal or non-metal. These are the two options that they are asking for. For these kind of question, it is very important that you must know elements name at least up to atomic number 40. Still, if you have not learnt it, we can solve this question by looking at their electronic configuration. Always remember, any element given as 1, 2 or 3 electron in their outermost shell is most probably a metal. So out of this, we have Y having 2 electrons in the outermost orbit. Most probably this is a metal. Any element having 4, 5, 6 or 7. Majorly 5, 6, 7 because 4 would be doing sharing of electron. So having 4, 5, 6 or 7 will be a non-metal because they will be taking up electron to fulfill their outermost orbit. And any element having 2, that is possible only for helium, or 8 in their outermost shell, they will be inert because their outermost shell will be complete, their octet will be complete. So out of the given option, we have X is a non-metal, Y is a metal, and Z is a noble metal, or you can say noble element or inert metal. If you exactly know the electronic configuration, we can say X is chlorine, sorry, it is Cl, not Ch. Y is magnesium with atomic number 12, and Z is neon with outermost shell 8. Right? So this is it about the question. So we have C as the right option. Now, next question that we have is, during cellular oxidation of glucose, ATP is produced along with the formation of other product in the reaction. Which of the following event is associated with the production of maximum ATP molecules of glucose during the process? We have 4 processes lined here which are all taking place during the cellular oxidation of glucose at different point of time in different organism. Like lactic acid formation is taking place inside human also when you are doing some strenuous exercise or you are climbing up the stairs. You must be feeling cramps in the muscles. So that is because of the lactic acid formation. We have carbon dioxide formation in the yeast cell. Also, we have carbon dioxide formation in the human cell and ethanol in the yeast, which is popularly used in the brewing industry, where the you can say acids or liquors are made. So these are 4 processes which are mentioned here. We need to go for which one is producing maximum amount of energy. Ethanol, when produced in yeast, it is the alcoholic fermentation, or you can say anaerobic fermentation, which is producing only and only 2 ATPs. We have maximum limit for ATP, which is around 36 to 38 ATP per molecule of glucose. Now, when you will be referring to different books, either 36 or 38 would be the figure. Lactic acid, again, the glucose is not oxidized completely, so we are again having less amount of ATP generated. Carbon dioxide is produced in yeast cell also during the ethanol production. That means carbon dioxide is produced as a byproduct. Also, the carbon dioxide is produced in human when our food is broken down. When glucose is broken down along with water and carbon dioxide, which is released as the byproduct. So basically, this carbon dioxide oxidation in human cell is the process which is producing around 36 to 38 ATP in the body. They have not mentioned it as the cellular respiration. This process is cellular respiration, which is simply the breaking down of our food, which is glucose, to produce energy to drive most of our metabolic pathway. So, students, these are some of the important questions that are very frequent in the examination. So, that's all for today. See you in next lecture. Thank you.